So you're looking to run a World Major Marathon. Well, we are here to help as we have ran the Chicago Marathon and the Berlin Marathon. So we'll give you all the tips that we have used to execute on race day. Now we are doing a World Major. Most likely you are traveling outside your city. So you're either going to be traveling by bus, plane, or car. Now, when you're going to World Majors, you want to make sure that you are reviewing and researching so you'll be able to be prepared for race day, to be able to be successful and not adding more stress to race day. If you are doing an international race or a race that's outside your time zone, therefore you probably benefit from getting to that city at least 2 to 3 days before race day to be able to get your body used to that city time. The World Majors will bring a lot of runners. So what this means is that you'll be running with at least 40,000 plus runners on that course with you. So if you are not used to running larger races with a lot of runners on that course with you, this might be a challenge. So you have to prepare your mind and your strategies accordingly. In addition to that, where some races that you do, you may or may not have spectators. Well, for the World Majors, you for sure will have spectators on that race. So if you're not used to hearing lots of noises or sounds while you are running, and that could be distracting, just prepare for that as well. The great thing about the World Majors is that you for sure will have pacers. So that means that depends on the race end time that you want to end your race at, you could line behind these runners or pacers that is going to run that exact time to get you to the finish line. So in addition to that, because of so much runners are doing this race, it will be congested. So that means that you want to prepare yourself and not be expectant to go out there and run race pace. Because sometimes you do have to start that race slower than what you anticipated until that crowd break out, and then you can start easing up and run faster to that goal race pace that you is aiming for. In addition to that, most likely the majors will have, especially if you do it in the States, you will have water stations at least every 2 miles. So it should be consistent along that time frame, whereas other races you may or may not have that water available to you. In addition to that, you also will have porta potties and medical tents available to you along that course. So when you are doing the World Majors, it's so important to read that pre-race brochure or pamphlet they sent out to you. That way you will know what is available to you on that course at which stop, because it's going to tell you what is available to you per mile. So you can keep that in mind, because not only do you have those hydration stations available to you where you could take in that water or electrolytes, you also have gels sometimes available to you or some type of food item that you could consume as well. Another thing I want you to be aware of, that spectators that's along the course sometimes are providing you with different things like beer or food or hydration like water. So it's up to you to take those items from them, but do keep in mind that you do not want to try anything new on race day, especially when you are running a marathon. Do keep in mind to run the World Major, you either will have to get by lottery, charity, or a marathon tour. Now to get by lottery, you definitely will have to submit your race time. The World Majors like Boston and sometimes New York and London will definitely choose certain finish your time first, and then we'll look at all the other times. So therefore your time will have to be verified as well compared to other runs or races that you may do. You could just get in without any time and it's open to everyone. And to do a charity, you definitely will have to raise money for that race, and then do the marathon tour. you will have to pay a little bit more higher than the race fee itself. Now, the great thing about doing the World Majors that is right now, at this time, is 6 World Majors. And when you run all 6, you will get a star. Compared to other races, majority of the World Majors, you will not get a meal after the race. Sometimes you may get a couple of snacks and some water, but that's about it. And you will get a Marlin blanket, and also you have that bragging rights that you had did and ran a World Major and you got a star. And another thing about running a World Major is that most of the World Majors do attract the elite runners because they get lots of money for winning the race, which means that it's going to attract lots of coverage. All different news stations and media coverage will be following the race due to such fast runners is running the race. So the cons of running the World Major is that it's definitely more expensive. You have to run a certain time limit to get into certain races. Besides that, you may have to do charity to get in. It's lots of people, so it could be very crowded and congested. So therefore, if you're a type of person that get very high anxiety, that can make your anxiety go up. And therefore, the pros of running the World Major is that it's definitely, it is most of the time it's fun to run. You're doing a marathon, you have the bragging rights that you have one, you can add a star and get 6 stars. It gives you an excuse to travel. You could go internationally, you could go around the states, you could just be able to travel around. And the spectators is usually very awesome. They keep you motivated, they push you to get to that finish line. Overall, I definitely recommend running a World Major because it is one of the events of its own. It's very fun to do, but smaller races are just as fun as well. Now, some people will run the World Majors as their first marathon. So do keep in mind that, like any other marathons, training is crucial. So if you are looking for marathon training tips, definitely check our playlist because we have plenty and we're here to get you right. And until we see you next time, bye-bye.